So my name is John Adamian. I'm the host of the Radical Fabulatorium, and I'm sitting here with the Chillteens at Local FM in St. John, New Brunswick. They're in town to play a gig tonight at
Wasted Day.
Wasted Day.
We got a hot rock gig tonight.
Yeah.
With local legends Sadie and Loveover.
Loveover, yeah. They're both great. Have you seen either of them live or anything?
Yeah.
Sadie.
I've seen Loveover a few times.
Okay.
Sadie.
Cool. They seem like pretty rad guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So do you know their other band, Surface Wounds?
Yeah. I actually went to high school with some of those guys.
Okay.
So.
That's where I heard of those guys first.
Yeah.
Surface Wounds. So they share the same members, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's another band too.
They have a third band?
I feel.
Wow.
Yeah. The Surface Wounds is kind of like the hardcore stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, real heavy.
Yeah.
Real heavy. Yeah. Cool. So have you played St. John much?
No, I haven't really. I think I played St. John a handful of times with any project that I've done, actually. I think the last time we played St. John was with Marion and Stephen Hero at Pub Down Under.
At the Pub Down Under.
Pub Down Under.
Right under the parking garage.
Yeah. Okay.
Miss it.
Because they've expanded. They have a second Pub Down Under.
Yeah, I think our drummer back then, he actually slept in his car in the parking lot.
It was a real greasy time.
Because of alcohol?
I don't know.
It was also late.
It was a combination of factors.
Well, that's a very responsible decision. So.
For sure.
And that lit underground parking lot.
Yeah.
It was fun playing there. It's a really greasy vibe. It was cool. I was carrying my amp in, and there was a lady, and she was like, "Would you play for a crazy lady?" And I was like, "I'm just carrying my amp in. I don't want to get caught up in it."
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I think that's the last time we played.
Yeah.
Here was great with our friends Marion, who are from Fredericton, and Stephen Hero.
Stephen Hero, okay. Yeah. So Marion?
Marion, yeah.
So actually, I wanted to mention this at some point, but you had mentioned on the Strange Groove podcast you're doing a seamless set with them.
Yes.
So is that a throwback? And you mentioned Grand Theft Bus. So is that is that a throwback to Grand Theft Bus?
Well, kind of, yes. I also, I'm big into the jam bands, have always been. I think that's a very a element of Chillteens that I really am I think that's the funnest part for me about playing shows, is just because you play your songs and you're great verse chorus, it's always the same.
Yeah.
It's always almost the same. And I think that can get a little bit boring sometimes. And so for me, having a jam in your songs and then coming back to whether it's the chorus or another song, that seamless element of it it's
exciting.
It's the funnest part about playing music, live shows for me, because it keeps it interesting, because you're all right, here it goes. It might be awesome. It might not be awesome. But I think that's it's so new every time. So I've been talking to Dylan. We wanted to do it in 2021.
Yeah, we were going to play a New Year's Eve gig.
Yes, we're going to do it with Marion and Dad Patrol.
Cool.
With Johnny's band here. And that got canceled because we went back to the orange phase. So we were in yellow or some stuff like that. And then we went to orange, so all shows were canceled that winter. So we've been talking about it for a while now, and so when we got asked to play Flourish, I told Jane, I was like, well, I'd like to put forward this idea that me and Dylan have been talking about, because I think it'd be something fun to do, and interesting and different, and we love Marion, and I think it would be a very cool thing to do. So we're gonna work on the set in the next few weeks.
And you folks on the airwaves here are getting a sneak peek because it hasn't been announced.
Oh, it hasn't been announced. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
the actual show.
Yeah. So that's gonna be really fun. We still don't know what's gonna happen, but I think
probably won't the day.
Yeah.
So it'll be a new experiment for both bands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it is kind of a throwback. And that's the other thing is I only started going to Grand Theft Bus shows when I was in high school, but that would have been 2007, 2008, 9, 10. and all that seamless stuff I think was over by then, so I actually never got to experience any of those, but I would hear them on like the archive.
Okay.
You know, like what's that website called? Archive like live.
The way back. Oh, I don't know actually.
Like where you go to listen to dead shows.
Yeah. And it's like
cool.
Harvest Jazz and Blues, like 2003 or like Elks Club, like.
And it's just like a really awful recording.
yeah. So anyways, it is kind of like that idea of like, and it's funny because they just announced Seamless Set again.
No way.
Grand Theft Bus and I think it's Jamie Swift. But again, I never went to any of those because I was too young.
Yeah,
I was like in elementary school and stuff.
That's why I perked up my ears. I'm like, I don't like. So I was in Fredericton. I was in my early 20s, like 2007. Like, that stuff was done.
Yeah.
So I kind of like saw it happen as I was turning 18, like bar age basically. So I was right on the edge of it. So I was curious how you were hip to that. But
yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll turn into like multiple sets. Like you'll do one in Fredericton and one in St. John.
I don't know. I feel like it will. We were talking about it with Dylan. Actually, we met earlier this week, and we're like kind of going through like tech, like a kind of like a stage plot tech writer. And we're like, oh my god, that's a big ass set. Like, that's a stage
big
plot.
stage too.
So we're doing it at the Charlotte Street Arts Center. So because it's the stage is big and it allows for it to do it. I don't know if doing it somewhere like the Cap or something like that would make the most sense, but
there's a nice place here called the St. John Arts Center that would there's a little room with like a balcony too. That would be an awesome place to do.
There was a sweet show there with Sadie and Motherhood and Blessed, right? Was that
Strange Grooves did a live podcast there, and then Motherhood and Blessed played in the other room, the live room or whatever. It was awesome. It was really good.
One of my bands played with them in Fredericton.
Played with both those bands?
Yeah. Great.
Man, Blessed was awesome. I'd never even heard of them before.
Yeah, they were amazing. Yeah. And actually, I was, so I went to the photo place. What's it called? Harvey's?
Harvey?
Yeah. Harvey or not.
You got a
Harvey Studio?
Burger in a photo?
Yeah. And I ran into the drummer. He was like browsing, and I was like, oh man, that was like a killer set, amazing, interesting stuff. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And then he was like, actually, it's crazy. It's like, I actually played to a click track.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They had this light show.
I was wondering if that was going on.
Did they do it in St. John?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They like, the drummer plays to a click in tracks, and they have the program lights.
Oh, okay.
And then in between songs, they were like, tuning, but they play house music. I was so jealous, man, because like I'm always just standing there awkwardly tuning.
They had like Twin Peaks like song, and then they had like.
But did you notice all the funny sound effects they would cut in? They were like doing this mindfulness meditation stuff in between songs, but then there'd be like fart noises. What is going on here? This is so great.
They were talking about that in the car, like a sequencer or something for sound effects. Yeah, so it'd just be like, bruh, someone messes up.
That's hilarious.
Fart noise or something.
Those guys were. There's something about like just. When you get like all these people in a band, when they can like, they're all extremely good at their instruments, but they all like, it's all synced. You know what I mean? So. When they're all doing their parts so well and so tight, and it's incredible. They were all super talented and skillful at their, but also like kind of knew when to come in. And I don't know, I was blown away.
Yeah, that's interesting. Which is interesting because it's like a total exact opposite of a jam band.
Totally.
They're a van band. That's what I call them.
They're what?
Van band.
A van band?
I don't really know, but like.
They only rehearse when they're in the van together.
It's either something about like touring or like they're from Vancouver or something. But like it's that style of music where it's like everything is just so tight. Like,
I saw a lot. So my old band was in that world, and I saw a lot of that on the road, like tech metal bands and people like being really precise. And there's something about it. Yeah. So, but jam, like that's the best thing about music, obviously, is that there's all these ranges of things that can be enjoyable.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like being in a jam band vibe, but also really respecting what they're doing.
The van band.
The van band.
That's like something that we try to go for is like obviously like have those parts that need to be tight, like tight, but also the flexibility of like you know, we shred, you know, we like to shred,
yeah.
you know, and that's
Respectfully
fun, yeah. Sue me, you know.
So like when thinking about Green Tea, like, would you play those songs the way they're structured on the record, or do you allow spots for things to kind of improv, like?
There's room for improv for sure.
Room for improv, yeah.
Definitely, like when I play, I'm always messing around. Like I don't play the parts the same way that they're on the record, but like it's structured the same.
Okay.
But there are some like solo sections that are way longer, and we do like try to do new transitions like every couple sets between songs and stuff.
So do you communicate that with the drummer, Johnny, right?
Yep.
So I've just started playing drums a little bit, but like it seems like as the drummer that would be a really difficult thing to keep an eye on or keep a feel out for.
Yeah, no, I play, like I'm new addition to the band actually.
Okay.
So
I'm talking to the mic.
I'm a new addition to the band. So far right now I'm still trying to keep it honest to the tracks, kind of blend in with the songs and then kind of find my own voice as I play.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does like Oscar lead the group? Like, does anyone kind of lead the group if a jam session is happening? You know what I mean? Like live? Is there any sort of like, where you guys like telepathically connected?
Like it's, I think when the jamming like starts, and I think there's like 2, 3, 4 of us that kind of fall behind to just keep. Yeah. You need like someone to keep the rhythm going, right? And then so then like I think it's mostly a lot of like the melodic instruments that will like, you know, take, you know, like I said, when it's time to shred, it's time to shred.
Yeah, we have like little cues, you know, like sometimes the bass will go like way up. And then Johnny knows to like switch to this different drum beat or something, or Johnny switches like a beat, and then we all follow.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's like not as like it's interesting because you have to all get there together. That idea, like for me, it might make sense to be like, okay, this part here's where, but it's like, you know, you have to communicate that for other people, right? To understand how you're like, it's making sense for you in your head
on stage.
And so, it definitely takes a lot of practice to be like, okay, during this part, you know, this, and it takes a few tries and playing the songs live. And then I think after doing it for a while, you can all come to that, you know, that place of like, okay, I know we're all thinking the same thing. You know, we know when to kind of like, you know, kind of wrap it up and that kind of stuff. But it's not just something that just kind of happens. Like you do have to kind of practice it a lot. And
have you noticed it click? Because you formed the band kind of like a solo project, right?
Yeah.
So have you noticed as members have come and go, maybe the certain ones click? Like not that you would have anything like just in the music world, like maybe they're like as a person they weren't the right person for the band, but the music clicked right away, or vice versa. Like has that ever happened, or has it always been something you need to work on with the group?
It's always work.
It's always work.
Like, you know, I think because you're doing something together as a group, it's that same idea that I was just talking about of like, you all need to have an understanding. So no matter if you're like the best guitarist or the best drummers, whatever, if you're playing with a band, you need to all come to an agreement at the end of the day to like get this song done together, you know, and get to like point A to point B, or point A to point, you know, D or F. And there's all these like kind of like cues along the way.
Even like the past couple shows, like we do a section of like a jam where we're like in one key and then we switch to another key like right away. And it's Iris that like switches the key, and the past couple of shows I've like noticed when she's about to do it, and I could just like feel it. Bump right on it, and it makes it like hit harder. So it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like hard to articulate, right? But, like you can just tell when people are gonna. It's like a language, you know?
Yeah, it's like a dance.
But it takes time to get there. It takes time and practice. Yeah.
And you also have to trust each other, right? So because if you're trying to jam in the moment, live in the moment, but yet you're wondering what people backing you up are going to do. I imagine that's obviously distracting.
And I admire like, and that's why I'm such a big fan of Grand Theft Bus, because that's why I love them so much. It's because obviously they have their songs and I'm like, oh, I love this song, it's great. But they'll always do the like, they'll just, you know, go off, right? And they'll just go off. And what's really crazy is they used to do this thing before COVID. It was like their Christmas show.
Mm-hmm. They
would play a show like two sets around Christmas time, one in Fredericton, one in St. John. And one time they had this hat, and they had all their songs of the set in this hat.
Oh, cool.
And so the way that they would do their set is that they would play a song, mm-hmm. and then Tim would go with the hat, and he would get someone from the crowd to draw a song. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be like, all right, I guess this is the next song. They wouldn't stop, and they'd keep going, and they'd go into the next song. And that to me is like, obviously they've been together and playing for like 20 years.
That's like the goal.
Yeah, so that was really cool, and that blew my mind. Like, to be able to do that is like, that's true chemistry right there.
For sure. Yeah, that's a special mixture.
Yeah.
And their drummer Bob, when I was in Fredericton, he was like a legend. He was
best drummer. Yeah.
Since they weren't playing so much anymore, but he was like infamous, kind of just.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah, very cool. So actually, thinking about like the improv and keeping it interesting, I noticed you mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Strange Group, and then you made the comment of like whether that's uphill or downhill from there. So I was curious about that. I have a guess that is a Frusciante thing. Is that?
Yeah. Well,
I know Johnny likes Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
So I respect them.
The Chili Peppers, live, like they do jams between all their songs, and like their solos aren't the same.
Yeah.
And like they're probably my favorite band too, actually.
That's why I started playing guitar in the first place. Yeah. I'm like, I could, from their album, I'd say from like Mother's Milk up until Stadium Arcadium, I like know all the lyrics. I know how to play like all those songs, because that's how I started. I started playing guitar. Like, I bought myself a Fender Strat Sunburst.
Okay.
Because of John Frusciante. That was my first guitar ever.
Yeah.
So, just fun to play on guitar, fun to sing to. I don't know, I
want to hear you sing all those lyrics.
I don't know if I can do it right now. Put me on the spot.
I know all the songs too, so guitar. But I was gonna say, but also like, have you heard of their producer Michael Beinhorn? So he did Mother's Milk. No. This is a cool book. Maybe I know people can't on the airwaves see it, but I carry that book around all the time, because it's like it's about producing and like making music and art and stuff, but it's more from like the like he's a big producer, so he knows all the tech stuff, but he kind of avoids it all in that book because he focuses more on like the psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of like where he first worked.
Cool.
But so I could go on about the Chili Peppers for a bit, but they always keep it real. Like, even if you don't enjoy all their music, you can tell they're kind of doing that like honesty thing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I listen to their music like currently right now, but like just like last year, I think I have the Slane Castle DVD.
Oh yeah,
that is like one of my favorite live concerts ever. Yeah, like incredible production on that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And he does a lead in the song "I Could Have Lied." There's a lead at the end that he improvs in the moment. And now the album version's like, I can't even like listen to it anymore. The lead's not on the album, so it's pretty fun.
I'm a huge on Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Beatles. The Beatles. My god! Like,
I could talk about the Beatles all day.
Yeah. If you don't like the Beatles, I don't trust them.
Dude. Yeah. How do people not like?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it was Kate from Strange Groups was like, I don't listen to the Beatles, and I was like, sus.
I
feel like people that don't listen to the Beatles is because they haven't listened to the Beatles. Like, they only think like it's the Beatles. Everyone likes the Beatles. And it's pretty amazing that's going on in those records.
Yeah. Oh my god. And I think I chose one of my like desert, like island albums,
Deserted Island.
Deserted, not desert.
Desert.
I chose Abbey Road. Because oh my god, that I mean, it's all amazing, but like once you get to the B side, it's like seamless. You know, there we go. I got something about seamless.
Not to mention like George Martin and Jeff Emmerich, like the tech guys behind the Beatles, those records, like they were inventing all kinds of technical stuff too.
They're just even, incredible stuff.
Yeah, even behind the scenes.
Like, I think we were talking about like it was supposed to be called like Everest or some stuff like that.
I saw something about that.
And then they were just like, no, let's just call it Abbey Road. Which I mean, like a last minute thing to be like, oh yeah, let's just go take a picture in front of the studio like that.
Crossing
like,
the street.
It's just iconic, you know, iconic.
Otherwise, they would have had to fly it to Mount Everest.
Fly Mount Everest to get a picture.
Yeah.
So, do you ever watch the webcam of Abbey Road? They stream the crosswalk.
No.
You can, they have a webcam set up where they stream, and people are stopping all the time.
Oh,
like currently.
Yes, yeah. It was like webcam back then.
Sorry.
I get it.
I mean, currently. I'm assuming it's still going. But it was going for years, and you just log on, and every few seconds, there'd be people stopping to take the picture.
Yeah.
Like, this is outrageous.
Yeah, no, it's Beatles. Yeah, that's how I learned. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers and Beatles is how I learned how to play guitar.
Cool.
Just fun way to learn.
What about the rest of you? How do you get into music? People start with Iris. We'll just go here.
I started playing bass in grade 4 in my school band.
Nice.
That's how it started, but like
jazz band or like a...
That was concert band, then jazz band, still play jazz band. That's and then just like listening to music. My mom's a singer. My dad loves, like, kind of speaking of jam bands, like Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest, like, no like shame for that, but I do think like my love of music or just appreciation even began with like Dave Matthews Band. I went to a concert for my 10th birthday.
Nice.
Dave Matthews Band concert in Virginia. Wow. So yeah, I think just like always being surrounded by musicians and then just music lovers, that kind of started it all.
Yeah.
And like for the bass, I picked up the bass just because I had the longest arms in grade 4, but I'm glad I did. Yeah. So yeah.
Everyone who ends up playing bass seems to have some story like that. Like it's a utilitarian decision.
Yeah. Yeah. But
freakishly long arms.
Yeah.
Freakishly long arms.
Tallest kid in grade 4.
So you got to play the bass.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Play bass and play center of basketball.
Yeah. That also happened. Yeah.
Cool. What about you?
I started playing guitar in like grade 7, I think.
Okay, cool.
Probably because of the Beatles.
Yeah.
I can't even really remember like why I started playing guitar, but I started playing. I'm like from outside the city here, and started playing shows at Taco Pico when I was like 15.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
And we were in a band together, me and Johnny.
Oh, really?
Our first band, Surf Lads.
What was it called?
Surf Lads.
Surf Lads?
Surf Lads.
Surf Lads.
Like Beach Boys, Surf Lads. We were trying to do the surf punk thing.
The surf punk thing? Neat.
Yeah. Don't look us up.
No.
Well, we can look you up if we want.
Yeah, we're still on
Instagram.
Instagram?
Right?
Yeah,
I've seen it on Instagram.
Right now I'll cut into one of the...
I love it, I'll protect it, and we'll never be apart. The bones won't break my...
Iron Maiden for your dad.
Yeah.
Like do the intro to the podcast with one.
I won't even say Chillteens anymore.
Yeah.
What was it, Surf Lads?
Surf Lads.
We're here sitting with the Surf Lads.
But there was like one moment for me of like when I realized that like live music is so sick was we were doing a Halloween cover set of The Strokes in like 2016 or 2017, and Philip Jaguar was playing The Clash, and he had like an iPod where he was playing like MIDI backing tracks, and he had this inflatable Iron Man suit on and a see-through like plastic guitar. And he went to like play a guitar solo, and he flicked a switch, and it like started lighting up. Wow! And I was like, okay, I know it's silly, but like I was like, wow, like live music is awesome.
It's a whole experience.
Wow, I guess I want to do this now.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean the show's part of it. So
yeah.
What about you, Johnny?
I believe it was like back in grade 5 as well. My older brother actually played drums.
Oh, okay,
so there was always a kid in the house.
Nice.
And one day like wasn't around, so I started playing around. And that was that's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
So I just kind of got into it. You know?
So your brother like convinced your parents, and you didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And then he moved out and left his kid there. So inherited me. Yeah.
Cool. What genre of music do you have? Do you remember what
the first band I fell in love with Dream Theater.
Nice, Dream Theater. Right out of the gates.
Yeah, I was 10 repping that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an insane drummer. He can do like the Dream Theater stuff.
Cool.
time signature stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like the instrumentally, can you play the instrumentally?
I don't think I can quite do that yet. But.
Okay.
But, Scenes from a Memory Part 2.
That's a solid album. That's pretty wicked.
Oh yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, that was like the one that got me into it.
Got you into them? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think their strongest songs are on that.
Yeah.
Their vocalist seems to like kind of a love-hate thing, but that record, I think he's pretty...
He's already there.
Yeah.
Maybe not the new records, but...
Yeah, I kind of felt lost in that. They're still putting out records.
Yeah.
Wow. Dream Theater. How do you get into Dream Theater first?
I think it was Guitar Hero. Panic Attack was on there.
Which one?
Man, Panic Attack. Talking about sick bass lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then I listened to that. I was like, that's sick. Slowly kept listening to more songs, and then eventually just fell in love with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, it's starting to make sense now, because when I was listening to Green Tea, I was like, there's some sophisticated songwriting going on here. It seems like it's pretty clever. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. Like, it feels like melodies are kind of like the trading off, which is kind of like a trick for your brain with changing timbres and stuff. And
well, I think it's just like we like everything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like I think we've hit like a nice little sweet spot where we hit all the spots. So basically, like I like jazz, I like hip hop, I like, you know, like I really like everything. I grew up listening to a lot of like Latin American music because I'm from Guatemala.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like, you know, a lot of influence from, you know, and then on top of that, I'm a refugee here and I was a part of the Multicultural Association. It was like my home, and I was part of like the youth group growing up, and we had all sorts of like, I had friends from like South America, I had friends from like Somalia, I had friends from like Iran. So growing up with influences from like all over the world too.
Yeah.
And then you just pile that together and you just get Chillteens.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess we like to do it all, and we like to condense it into like, I guess, pop songs.
Okay.
So that's what you get.
Okay.
And this new record, so I guess I'll segue into the new record, is kind of like similar idea as well, but you know, with new members means obviously different vibes. And I talked about it on the Strange Grooves, but I'll get a little bit, not in full detail, but like I guess the old songs were already songs when we went to the studio, you know, when we recorded them.
Yeah, okay.
These new songs, there's kind of, we're going to do our own thing. Like there's no really like, there is ideas, we're working around like melodies, like a main melody or a beat, whatever, but like, you know, we kind of figured we're going to be playing, have been playing some of these songs, these newer songs, and we're kind of like, okay, I guess this works, you know, but kind of recording them, we were like, I don't really know what this song's going to sound like.
We're like, that's a new experience for me, going into the studio with like, just ideas. Or like,
okay. You know, less mapped, like not mapped out.
Yeah.
Like when we recorded Green Tea, it was like already, all the songs have existed for like a couple of years.
Gotcha. So who's all on the Green Tea record that's here now? Just you two?
Just me and Paul. Yeah, that's right here. Yeah, we went to Grand Manan. I was like painting this old house, kind of like fixing the outside of it. And I was doing that for like a year. And I was like, let's change the scenery up. And we like went there.
We recorded the bass and guitar.
Yeah.
And I played bass on that record.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we that's what we did. And but again, it wasn't hard because we already knew what the parts were. You know, those songs had been, you know, incorporated in the set already. So we just kind of had to track those parts. Whereas this, like, you know, we're heading back to the studio here soon to work with our friend Dylan, who plays in Marion. He's just gonna guide us.
Yeah, at shift work, right?
Yeah, at shift work. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the plan for now. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'm like fascinated by like vulnerability and that sort of thing. So like you were mentioning, like does this make you nervous at all to be recording songs this way?
Yeah, totally. Like, I've only ever really recorded when it was already like we knew what was happening. So it's like, you know, it's testing sometimes to like go into the studio and it's like everyone's got different ideas, and especially because there's like 5 of us.
You know? And especially if there's a strong opinion about an idea that's
oh yeah, for sure. That's the part that too, like I think, but it's good practice though, because like I think though I think it's really important to train your brain. I guess and this would apply to just anything, is to just like to train your brain to just be open-minded to things. And that goes for me as well, to be like, I had this idea for this song and maybe I need to let it go because, you know, and that's why it's good to work with a producer and someone there to kind of help mediate, because, you know, you kind of like, you set expectations for yourself. And if you do that, especially going into a situation like that, like this, you will be disappointed, right? Like, and I've learned over the years to be like, I think you can have expectations, but also you have to let go of that, because ultimately it's just going to make the experience way better to just be like, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's tricky to try to figure out what's like best for the song, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I usually find thinking about that best for the song, it's like usually a debate between like your thinking brain and then just feeling it, and then sometimes something feels right, but it's like on paper it seems wrong, or someone's trying to say it's not right or something. You know what I mean? Like, has that ever come across?
Well, actually, I just remember we were recording this song that Aiden wrote, and he had it really fast or something, right?
No, it was so slow.
It was slow, yeah.
It was like so slow.
Yeah, and so I think you had left already by this point, Iris. It was like me, Johnny, and Paul, and Dylan.
And we did like a couple of takes of the drums. And
yes.
Like, something's not.
Yeah,
right.
and so we were all, even Dylan was like, this doesn't feel like it should be this speed, I think. And we're all like, yeah, it feels too slow. And Aiden actually got he was holding on to that idea of like, no, I wanted this speed. But then there was there was a four of us who were like, no, it definitely needs to be a little quicker, because when we play it live, it's like it's like an energy, like a song. And I don't think he was too happy about that. But he, you know, again, he knew that this is kind of like how we're going into the recording process, and it was like, you know, if we all kind of agreed on this, like the four of us, you know, it's kind of like, let's meet halfway, and like, how can we all come to an agreement? And so that was, you know, it does get kind of awkward sometimes,
Yeah, it's totally like an in the moment thing.
Yeah,
like after we were like, oh, okay, yeah, it should be like that.
Yes, yeah.
And that actually happened with my other band when we were recording. Like, the guitar player was like playing something, and he does this thing where it's like he plays a chord and then like lets it feed back. And we've been playing together for like a year, and we only played live, and I never heard him do that. So he was tracking it, and I was like, what is, like, that's wrong. Like, why are you doing that? He's like, I've been playing it this way for a year. I was like, I hate that.
Yeah, it can make for some like touchy situations, interesting encounters.
Yeah. And again, it's important to for your own like self, and for like the people that you're working with, is to like, you really have to take what you're thinking and how you're feeling in the moment and be like, no, like how can I, you know, let go of this thing that I'm so attached to? It is hard. It gets really hard.
Yeah.
And
it happens a lot with demos too. When you demo stuff, and then you try to record it again, and you're like, oh, that's not how we did it on the demo.
Demoitis.
Who cares about the demo?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You really, and I forget sometimes, like, you know, like I guess it happens with Iris sometimes, where I'm like, I've been doing this for like over 10 years, playing live music, and it's kind of like it comes to me, and I just do it, or playing a show, whatever. But I'm like, oh yeah, like I have like 10 years on you, and I'm like, I forget sometimes. I'm like, I need to also keep in mind like people's experiences, because there's like a 9-year gap between us, or something like that.
Yes. And
I need to be mindful of like, oh, I've been doing this way longer than you have.
Yeah. We're just calling everyone out on the airwaves.
Yeah. but like also understanding like, oh yeah, I need to be like for example, me and Aiden, we're closer in age gap. We've been doing this together, so I don't have to be like, I can be with him a certain way, and I have to keep in mind like, oh yeah, no, we all come from different, you know, experiences, and keeping that in mind too when doing this, and being like, you just have to be patient, patient with everyone, patient with yourself, open-minded, and kind of work through the awkward feelings, or like the tension, but ultimately, like, it's like we're all working towards the same goal, which is to make a record. Right. So
that's the ultimate goal.
So hopefully it gets made.
A bunch of money and become billionaires.
Yes, exactly.
That's why we play music. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Billionaire musician. Tons of those around. Okay, very cool. Are there any songs you want me to cut into this? Any bands you're listening to right now? Not to put you on the spot, but you're on the spot. I know you're in Dad Patrol.
No,
you're in Dad Patrol.
Yeah.
So you guys are working on a record, right?
Yeah, we just finished mixing it.
Okay, with Dylan as well.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we recorded the drums there, and then we did all the other instruments ourselves, and then brought it back to him. And he mixed it for us.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah. So you must like working with Dylan if you're in multiple projects.
That's right.
Yeah. Very good. He's the man.
Okay.
Dylan is awesome.
Yeah. And so, you had mentioned, so you're all working on this new record with Dylan, recording. Okay. So you had mentioned that, like, you found trust was a really big, I know we've been kind of talking about that right now, like producing and working with engineers is really like, it's like almost like a hospitality therapy work as well at the same time. From what I've learned anyway.
Well, the thing with Dylan is like, I think I know that he genuinely likes Chillteens, and he's at shows and he's a big supporter. And so with working with someone like that, I want someone that cares about Chillteens, right? That like really genuinely like cares about us. And so like I was like, it makes all the sense in the world to work with someone who's like a big supporter, has been a huge supporter of us like over the years, and like knows our sound, right?
Knows what you're going for.
Yes.
Kind of like totally. Is aligned with the vision.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you find him, so does he give you like his objective opinion and it allows you to trust his opinion, or like is he?
We haven't really gotten to that point quite yet, like of like the production element, but I think like he's just really easy to work with. Very like, he's just very good at what he does, and like, you know, when it's time to like give like the final, like we're all undecisive about something, he's like, I think this, you know, I trust his opinion, and he's been doing this for like quite a while now.
There almost isn't those moments because like he makes it sound good right away.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like sometimes someone's engineering it and it's like, it doesn't sound right, like we gotta redo it. But to my ears, it's always like, it sounds good.
Cool. And but what about when it comes to song structure or anything? Do you allow anyone to make outside?
That we haven't gone to that point yet.
Okay.
No, we haven't gone to that point yet. And I think that's something I have to work on, because when I write my songs, I'm like, I you know, we were talking about expectations and kind of like how I hear it. I think I'm like, I think when we get there, it's something that we'll just have to, you know, figure out. We haven't gotten there yet. I'm someone who is, and me and Aiden are the two main songwriters in the band. And he writes very poppy songs, like verse, chorus. Whereas me, I really don't like that traditional kind of song structure. I like to go off and do crazy things. And, you know, for this new record, I want to have like more synth. I was talking to you earlier about like being into like the old synths and stuff. So I want to have more like sequencers and weird sounds on this record. So we'll see. Again, like, it's very different to Green Tea, because I don't really know what it's going to sound like. Whereas Green Tea, I knew exactly what it was going to sound like.
You were like, had something to aim at and kind of, you knew where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Interesting. So on Green Tea, there's two songs that are back to back. 11.
Yeah.
And then Green Tea. Was this all recorded? Was the whole album recorded in the same place or at the same time, or something about those two songs seemed to like feel?
We recorded drums with Dylan.
Okay.
So I do a little bit of recording myself. I'm not a pro. I'm just like a YouTube DIY.
Check out his solo stuff, Lil Omar.
Yeah, I was listening to that. Yeah, solid.
So I kind of just like dabble in like, you know, that sort of and also we didn't really have that much money in the bank, so we were like, okay, what's the cheapest way we can put our record? And so Dylan recorded. We worked with him to record drums, and then we kind of just did the rest ourselves.
Okay, cool.
So we did it some in Grand Banana and some in like my little bedroom studio, and we kind of, I don't know, like we just thought that order would be good.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
something about those two songs, like there's like something special happening in those two songs specifically. Like I mean, in a good way. Like the album's solid, but when 11 came on, there's something that feels like it's not necessarily a sound. It's just those two songs back to back. I don't think it has to do with the fact that they're back to back. It's just whatever in those two songs is going on. There's something different about it.
Yeah, no, we just kind of chose like I think track 5 instrumental. Not that I have anything against track 5s on albums, but it just seems like. We'll just put like our. Not that I'm not a fan of 11 or anything, but I'm like, okay, it's an instrumental. I know not many people are gonna vibe with it as much as like Glide or Thanks Corey or something like that. So let's just put it on track 5. Why not?
Yeah, right in the middle.
Yeah,
it's like when you flip over the B side.
Exactly. Yeah.
Either ends the A side or starts the B side.
And Green Tea was like I was going through this weird health thing in my first year of university. Like I didn't write any songs. All I wrote was just like little snippets of like songs, and then I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with any of these ideas. Maybe I'll just Abby wrote it and make it like one full kind of,
Yeah.
Because
full experience.
Yeah. Because I just was like, I was not writing anything at all, and I think Green Tea is one of my favorite songs I've ever written because it's very crazy. There's no verse, there's no chorus. It's just like point A, point Z, baby.
Yeah.
So it's a very special song to me.
And well, I mean, I feel special to me too, and like that's the best thing about music is like I didn't even really think about the structure, like how the songs are structured, of how it made me feel. And so those two songs specifically, like I said, the whole album's great, but those two songs, for whatever reason, there's something like going on in those two songs that just feel right. So,
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. So that's cool. I'm glad you found someone like Dylan. I'll have to maybe I'll have to reach out to him and pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, I reached him out. That Marion's a great band. They feel like we're on similar wavelengths, like we kind of started around the same time, Chillteens and Marion. They used to play in a band called David in the Dark.
Oh, David in the Dark.
Yeah.
So I saw them, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I think
I was wondering about them.
They all kind of started jamming. And then and my friend Jane Blanchard, who runs Flourish, used to play keys, and then she moved to Scotland, and then they kind of just they kind of just people life happens. But I think Dylan, Jerry Faye wasn't in it back then, so Dylan, Stefan, and Tim. I don't know if Tim was in David in the Dark actually. Anyway, but I'm sure they were like, we want to keep playing music. So then Dylan actually played bass in David in the Dark. He wasn't a songwriter. He played bass.
He's played bass. Okay.
But then he kind of started playing his own tunes, and
cool.
And it's Birth of Marion, and they're great. They're one of Fredericton's best.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah, it's like Tom Petty, Big Star kind of vibes.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
70s stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is the best part about like discovering new music is it just leads to more new music. Yeah. So I used to be pretty into the scene in Fredericton, but I like took a side route and like got out of music for like 7 years, and now I'm kind of like diving back in, head first, So it's been awesome.
There's a lot of good music happening. There's a lot of young bands too, like Death Patrol, Mercy Buckets. We have my friend Tata from Honduras. Like we just got all these youngsters forming bands, playing rock shows, and
that's so awesome.
It's super cool. I'm super excited to see kind of everyone showcase at Flourish. We've got like a really good strong Freddie rep happening at Flourish, so I'm excited about that.
When's Flourish?
Flourish is starts
June 15th to 18th or something.
15th? Okay.
And all our projects are playing in that.
All your projects. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All the projects in the room, pretty much.
Projects in the room, yeah.
Everyone will be there? Everyone
will be there, yeah. I think I'm I'm opening actually the whole Flourish with my solo project.
Okay.
I'm doing a solo set.
Cool.
So my little Omar project is like, I have a genre down for it. It's psychedelic bossa nova.
That's what you're calling it? I was listening to it this morning, actually.
Yeah. So, it's like, and I sing in Spanish, and it's like, I'm going to be opening that up. And then the next night, we're doing our seamless set with Marion at the Art Center, all ages show.
Yeah.
And then I think the following night, these guys.
Yeah, I don't know where Dad Patrol's playing.
We're playing upstairs though.
Okay.
Yep.
On the same night as us.
Yeah, I think so. Saturday night, right?
Yeah. So Dad Patrol and Merce Buckets are playing the Cap.
The Cap, cool.
Where is it?
They don't call it the Phoenix anymore, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They don't call that the Phoenix anymore? Upstairs?
Yeah, then the Nest. That's what the Phoenix.
Where
and
like the DJs would play.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm actually so excited for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to rip.
Yeah.
Cool. And all ages shows are crucial.
Oh my God. We actually just had one.
Yeah,
We hosted one at the Choice Art Center. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was great. This band called Calabunga. It's still in high school. They played an actually Marion duo opened the show for us. And a bunch of kids came out.
Like 70 teenagers.
Yeah. It was awesome. Great turnout. Like the vibes were super sweet, and like I think they're just like really excited to be doing things and being a part of like the music scene.
That's
and like
awesome,
for a while now, we'd have shows in Fredericton all ages, and like there'd be no all ages. It'd just be like me and my like 5 friends who are like 25. It's like not like where all the kids at, but it's nice to see some high school bands again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
because all ages shows don't work without high school bands.
You need to have someone in that world to kind of like tell their friends.
Yeah.
That's how me and my buddies got started. We just saw some random show, and then we became those high school kids who would like try to book shows. Or, like it took 3 or 4 years to learn the guitars and write some songs. And everything. Yeah. But like it peaked in Sussex, where I grew up, like with Alexis on Fire coming to town, and Monine came to town, and like Protest the Hero, right? They played right here in the cafeteria to like 20 people.
That's
it was
crazy.
Amazing, man. It was
crazy.
And it was all ages, so it's before they kind of exploded, but they would come back anyway. But yeah, so it's nice to hear all ages stuff coming back, because that's the plan. There's some of that going on in St. John too, at the Art Center, and there's hopefully going to be a new venue called Haven Music Hall. Yeah, so that'd be awesome. So when's the new record? Do you have any timeline for the new record?
We're gonna do fall.
Okay.
But right now
we gotta get to work.
We gotta get to work and figure that out. Yeah, it's like I'm
still in the ether. Like
it's hard because like in the winter you're like so focused because there's like it's the winter. Everyone's like in their homes playing video games and whatever.
So it's a good time.
So it's a good time to like make a record and like get to work. But then once the show starts, once the festival starts, you're like,
gotta rehearse.
Yeah, I was gonna swear, but I
can beep it out.
But I didn't.
That like horn sound.
Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't. So
I'm offended that you didn't.
Yeah, I'm.
Go ahead.
We have no.
I'll beep it out.
But I think that's something that like I think I booked shift work for next Wednesday.
Cool.
For myself and whoever wants to come and track some stuff. Yeah.
Casting call?
Yes. But yeah, hopefully the fall, but we'll see.
All right.
I can't guarantee anything.
Okay. Well, it's can't predict the future. All we have is right now.
Yes, that's very true. Wise man. Wise man right there.
I said it first.
Yeah.
All we have is the now. Future and the past doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Cool. So when that record is closer, you'll have to come back. You'll be coming for shows, obviously.
We'd be happy. I'm sure we'll come back and play here. And
do you do acoustic sets or like? Because we want to start doing like a tiny desk type, vibe.
We don't, but I'm sure we could.
Yeah. If you ever want to experiment, I've got one artist coming in hopefully for the test run in like a couple weeks. So
cool.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Can you reveal who it is?
I guess I could because I could just edit it out.
Okay,
Catherine Kennedy.
Oh,
she's gonna do an acoustic
nice.
set. Yeah.
Cool.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She is awesome.
Yeah. So then we'll see what happens.
I think I did Fast Forward with Catherine Kennedy. Fast Forward's this emerging artist, professional development.
Oh, cool.
Kind of music festival that happens in Fredericton.
Yep.
And I did it with Chillteens. as Chillteens
many moons ago,
like in 2018 or something, 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
And Catherine Kennedy was in my group. Like we did it together. So that's how I met her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So she's probably since gone to university for school and stuff. And I didn't know her back then.
I don't know, but I know that she would play Folly Fest once in a while.
Yeah.
I see her there and Living Roots, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
She just put out a new song. CBC like commissioned it from her, I guess, but it's
cool.
Aaron Costello produced it, and it's this piano song that usually she plays acoustic. And it's called Glow, I believe it's called.
Oh
man, it's probably it's my favorite song I've heard her put out.
Wow.
I'm hoping she goes more in that piano direction.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, piano is it's my favorite instrument,
it's
honestly.
Nice, yeah. It's all your fingertips on a piano.
Yeah. I can listen to someone play piano for hours. I don't know if I could listen to someone or a noodle on piano, but I don't know if I can do that with guitar.
Yeah, just noodling, yeah.
You know, like just noodling on guitar versus noodling on piano is like completely different vibe.
Yeah.
I love them both though. Guitar is my first love, so.
First love, yeah.
Peace and love.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're a high school sweetheart.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So I'm going to cut in at some point and play those two songs I mentioned earlier, like 11 and Green Tea, since I have the power and that's what I want to play.
Yeah, totally.
Anything you guys want me to play? Doesn't have to be your own stuff.
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan. Yeah. All right, what song?
Yeah. Anything from that, I think it's called Aja.
Aja, yeah. Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll cut to Steely Dan right here.
Great.
Cool.
Gonna pick up the baby. What's that song called?
I actually don't really know much Steely Dan.
So. Really?
Oh. Yeah, they're. I've been listening to them a lot recently at work, actually.
Cool. I'll check them out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably a band I should know.
Oh, you'd love them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, thanks a lot. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a blast.
Anything you want to sneak in that we didn't cover that you'd rather?
Not really, other than we're playing Wasted Day Brewery tonight. It's gonna be fun. Come check out the show. I mean, I guess it's gonna be aired. So never mind. If you came and checked out the show, thank you very much. If you bought a shirt, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Thanks very much,
Awesome.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.